Oh, what's up guys, it's your boy Shieldcoomer, and today we're gonna be covering a quick Streets 22. Video here starts a little bit late because I forgot to start recording on time, but I think that's gonna be okay. Either way, this was on Tyrannical week with Sanguine storming, as you guys can see on the right side of the screen. Pretty fun week this was. Managed to do some pushing. I think this was a good week if you had a good tank. That was a bad chastise, by the way. Never stun mobs in Sanguine. That was... like, if you're gonna stun, you should probably stun when they're casting the explosion. And probably not right before something dies, so it doesn't get stunned in Sanguine. Unless you're playing, like, which you could technically be playing this week. This was a good week to play Shining Force. So you wouldn't even have stun chastise. I mean, you would have stun chastise, but like it would be like a disorient that can be broken very easily, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, here if you get, obviously if you get Vi, you want to be careful and dodge these like lines and stuff. I actually don't know why we got Vi here. I think that was a mistake. But yeah, it happens a lot when you play with cleaving classes, and we've had a lot of cleave here, obviously, like both DH, Frost Mage, and Rain of Fire and stuff. All cleave abilities. Yeah, when it comes to Holy Priests, we're in a very good spot right now. We have lots of utility, lots of damage, and as always, lots of healing. So we definitely want to use that. You know, here you see me pop Ascension, Boon Ascension, or whatever the fudge the ability is called. I always call it differently. I cannot for the life of me remember how abilities are called, and I will never learn. I refuse to learn and get better. No, I really should call abilities correctly so people can like reference them easier. I'm sorry guys. But yeah, here, so like these packs, obviously, especially on Tyrannical, like on Fortified this would be a different story. I will upload a Fortified video as well, because I have done this key I think on 22 or 23 on Fortified as well, so I have a lot of videos waiting for the upload, guys. And the problem is, like, the 20s I've done, I don't want to upload them because now I have done like 22s and 23s and 21s, so it's like I don't want to like get I don't want to like go downwards. I want to get higher and higher keys for you guys, especially considering that I actually really enjoy pushing this season. I really like this Affix, first of all. It's maybe not the most exciting Affix. To this day, my favorite Affix was the Prideful. I just think Prideful was such like a challenging Affix on its own, especially for us healers. It was kind of hard to heal on higher keys. You actually had to like plan big cities and stuff, and on top of that, it just felt like it was so fun. Like you beat this mob and then you get like such a big reward in like haste, speed, and just like you go crazy, right? Damage. I even forgot what it gives now, to be honest, but yeah, it was nice. Anyway, regardless, let's focus on the task at hand. Sorry guys, I digress very early. Oh yeah, this was the key where I crashed twice even. Right, so here I crashed. That was terrifying. I thought we're all gonna die, especially because this was right before the AoE hit. Okay, that's actually so scuffed, but yeah, I remember I had some troubles logging in here back, and yeah, I think I managed to fix this issue. I had WoW crashing quite a bit, but it turns out it was I think it was because I overclocked my RAM a little bit too high, so it was a little bit unstable. I was getting some memory messages. I turned down the speed a little bit, just like by 1 gradient, and it help, so that's nice. Regardless, getting back to the key, guys, Streets is a bit tricky on both Fortified and on Tyrannical, in my opinion. It's a much harder key in general than Gambit is. Gambit is pretty straightforward and simple, in my opinion, with the exception of last boss being kind of difficult, whereas I think first and second boss are not super difficult. Provided, like on the second boss especially, provided that your tank knows what they're doing. Here, all the bosses have their thing, I would say. This boss is just annoying. It's not a difficult boss. It is just an annoying boss. There's not really a lot of healing you need to do here. anyway, so you can just kind of like You just need to heal tank. And what you'll notice I do a lot is I will be using Guardian Spirit basically off cooldown. Is this the optimal way to use the Guardian Spirit? Probably not. So I would say that there are exceptions. So I would say on packs especially, or bosses where there is hard hitting mechanics and there is obviously a DPS without a cooldown, or sometimes even yourself, we're squishy as well as priests. There is a lot of argument to be made for Guardian Spiriting one of your DPS players, for sure. But personally, what I found to work really well for me so far is this. A lot of tanks nowadays have self-healing quite a bit, especially that goes for DH, especially that goes for Paladin, especially that goes for Brewmaster Monk, even Bear. A lot of tanks, they just have a lot of self-heal. So, my logic is this. If a Guardian Spirit, the tank, they can pretty much sustain themselves, unless it's a huge like fortified pull or some big pull with like tank crushing mobs. Which honestly there isn't a lot of them in Shadowlands in general. There just isn't a lot of pulls like that. There's a couple of them for sure in like halls. There is some in like a gambit between first and second boss. Then there is like in here like there's like those two dogs. They will hit hard with frontals and stuff. But your tank just needs to press a CD there and they will live. So with Guardian Spirit, I basically ensure that tanks don't need much attention, so I'm not wasting globals on my tanks. And what that allows me to do is it allows me to pop my Kyrian boon and deal a lot of damage. It allows me to cast my Holy Fires, which then in turn together with the smites will give me Chastise, so I can stun multiple times through the packs, which is something that should not be underestimated. That's 2 interrupts on stuns. Then you have your Fear as an interrupt that I just missed here, but that was because I'm Pepega and I was out of range. It allows me to use my Divine Star on cooldown basically, which I'm still trying to get better at. It allows me to heal my DPS instead of tank, because usually tanks require more global CDs, so if you take care of your tank with Guardian Spirit, you can completely commit like full attention to the to your DPSers if there's like a lot of AoE on the pack and if people are standing in the mechanics. So it's just something that I personally like. Obviously you don't have to do that. It's, in my opinion, a good use of the ability, but I do feel like it is situational, so don't just like blindly follow like what I say. Obviously I highly encourage people to try out things and see for themselves, but if you don't have time to like do a lot of research and stuff and you just want to like get value out of your spell, I would suggest just Guardian Spiriting the tank. And but there is a trick here. There's a trick. So you still gotta maintain tank. Look, if tank is taking damage, definitely don't let Guardian Spirit proc, because then you're not getting that cooldown reduction. And I am here running a I'm basically running talent for Guardian Spirit, as I feel like everybody should. I just think it's a more valuable talent than the other one. In dungeon scenario, obviously it's less healing for you, but you should be able to take care of yourself regardless. Maybe there's some exceptions to this in like heavy AoE dungeons, but in my experience I have not found a single one where that talent would be more useful than Guardian Spirit, because you can just Guardian Spirit yourself and get basically the same effect with more versatility. So it's just better objectively if you just think about it. Like just think about it. You can still Guardian Spirit yourself and you get more value than you would from simply getting the what is it called, bestowed fate or whatever. And here, honestly, I played this pretty bad. So like, what you could do with this guy here is you can just line of sight when he charges. You can go behind the wall and he will just like stand stupidly and not even attack for like a couple of seconds. It is a way better way to deal with this guy. I didn't know that at the time, but I've learned. So see what they are doing now. They're standing on the wall, and I didn't know that, and it's very smart because that he can charge you there. And here once again I will get stunned like a complete noob because I simply didn't know about this. And that's part of the fun, and that's part of the learning process and the experience of playing such a complex and beautiful game like World of Warcraft is. You learn. You always learn. No matter, I feel like no matter how good you are, there's always something else to learn. It's probably one of the my favorite things about World of Warcraft is I constantly feel like there's room for improvement, and I constantly feel like playing more provides opportunities to learn more about the game and stuff, and it just lets me learn.
Empowered.
So yeah, learning and getting better at the game is definitely definitely something I like a lot, and just in general in any game I play, it's probably the most exciting part for me. A few points I want to make here is obviously like watching back at these videos and making this commentary for you guys is also one way for me to learn and get better as well. Sometimes I notice certain things that I should be doing that I maybe perhaps wasn't and stuff like that. So it is I feel like this is a game that is so complex, and throughout almost any sort of encounter you have so many opportunities to click the less optimal button. I think there's so many variances that I don't think anybody like in existence or history of World of Warcraft has ever done like a whole dungeon without a single misclick. Like, looking back at situations retrospectively, you can always find something you could do better, so don't stress about making small mistakes. Sorry, my voice is dying. Now, if I was a professional YouTuber, I would just edit that out, but I want it there. You guys have to hear my voice dying. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, never stress. Like, I would say, not never stress, but don't, like, if things are working out, you don't necessarily have to stress about changing things too much. Now, I will say though, you should always look for room for improvement. Like, I'm not saying like just be satisfied. It's like, oh, I timed the dungeon, so I can't do anything better. No, for sure you can. Trust me. Like, even I'm sure that even players in MDI runs and like professional like World of Warcraft esports players, like, I'm sure even they, looking back on their dungeons, could find so many things to do better. But that's exactly the point. Like, you're not expected to play at that level. I mean, unless that's your goal, I guess. Then go for it. But I just feel like you gotta find like a playstyle that works for you, and it's not always the same for everyone. Some healers like to play extra safe and keep everybody topped all the time. Some players like to deal more damage. I feel like I'm more on a DPS side, but kinda like I try to keep things balanced, especially with bugs. I know, like, nobody likes to die in dungeons, right? Nobody likes to die in general. And it especially feels bad if you as a DPSer have pressed your defensives, you have interrupted everything that can be interrupted, you have CC'd everything that can be CC'd, and then you die to like a dot or AoE that ticked multiple times and was preventable. That just feels bad for everybody involved. I think it's, you know, you should always try to be ready to heal people. I mean, this sounds so obvious now. I'm realizing that I'm kind of saying like, you know, like, I don't know, grass is green, water makes things wet and stuff, but it's just something to keep in mind, you know. Like, oftentimes I feel like sometimes stressing about numbers and stuff might lead people to overcommit CDs and things like that. If you look at most of the keys I've done, and I will upload a lot more keys because I've done a ton of keys lately because I've had some free time. And I also started working on that guide I promised you guys, so hopefully it will be up soon. But basically, when it comes to using, for example, Apotheosis, that cooldown is so powerful. Like, in theory, there is no harm in pressing it basically every single pull because it's a 2-minute cooldown. And in dungeon environment, you pretty much have it almost always. But see, like, I don't really see the point of that, because whenever I use it, I never feel like I get full value out of it. And then sometimes there are times where I feel like I would need it, and I don't have it. And I don't like that. So
What is left of it?
I feel like as a healer, it's kind of opposite of a DPS. Now, obviously, the exception of this is when you guys are running like a very, like a pre-planned run with your pre-made group, and you guys like know exactly what you're gonna pull. Then it comes down to just calculating your cooldowns and just doing the best that you can with the route you've been given and figuring things out. That is obviously something you guys, I feel like if you're on that level, you probably aren't like, you probably don't even really need like any help from me, so you know, I'm not really gonna go there. But I'm saying for like your random pugs, for your keys up to like 23s, even 24s, I personally, as a holy priest, this isn't for all the healers, I'm speaking now specifically about, because some healers are dependent on their cooldowns to keep people alive. You aren't as holy priest. I mean, I am pretty well geared though, so maybe that's why I feel that way. But even when I wasn't geared, I still felt this way. Our class just does enough healing outside of cooldowns, so I really like to keep hymns, like him. I keep it for like some very specific scenarios where I know there's like a lot of outgoing damage, where I know I will not have to press any other global, because him does have like increasing value over time. So like every tick will heal more and more, so you really want to like get the full hymn. And you also sometimes we want to pre-hymn. This is like something I've thought about recently. It's like if you know there's gonna be like a lot of AoE damage that is like ticking, like boom, boom, boom on everyone, like you want to pre-hymn. You don't want like your first tick to be there. You kind of want to like pre-hymn and then have like maybe like on the third tick of your hymn to meet the first tick of the mechanic. So, for example, where I found this to be useful is the red spirit, the raging spirit, or whatever it's called in the other side. For example, there on the high fortified keys, that thing melts if you do not have a stun for it, and maybe it's a good time to hymn. But if you start hymning when he starts raging, people will die. It happened multiple times. So what I would say you wanna do is you wanna like hymn maybe like 3 seconds earlier or something, and it's still scary because yeah, people will drop low and stuff, but if you see that, you know, things are going bad, you can always like cover it with some of the AoE heals and stuff. And yeah, here I had another crash. Really annoying. I fixed these issues now at the time of like making the commentary, but at the time of making the video I still had these problems, so sorry about that, guys. You didn't miss anything significant though. I just pulled it back and stuff. It's all good. But yeah, you want to kill this junk mail guy late. These guys are very smart with how they do things. I really enjoy this group. You will see a couple of keys with this group. We had like 2 nights I think where we played together. It was very fun. They're pretty good players and enjoyed their presence a lot. I hope we do more keys in the future. And see, here's one of the mechanics where I like to hymn, although this is a late hymn. Like, this was super late, and as you can see, I did not get full value because I simply was late.
Unstable goods.
Wouldn't call it a mistake necessarily, but just like lack of, maybe a little bit lack of vision. Because you don't want to like, especially as a healer in general, you don't want to be like actively looking at the bars and just like reacting to HP going down. Like, your goal should be like planning and kind of expecting damage and then being ready to heal as soon as damage comes in most cases. That's just kind of how it is. That is even more true if you're playing Disc, but I mean Disc is irrelevant right now, so I'm not even gonna go there. Maybe it will be relevant in the next patch, hopefully, or next year or whatever. I really hope so, but we'll see. Right now, Holy is kind of better in basically every single aspect of the game. Real shame, as I enjoy playing Disc a lot, but you know, it is what it is. We have reigned for quite some time, I guess, so it's only fair. Yeah, you always want to be planning for damage. You know, you know what's happening. You see the mechanics. PV is very scripted in general, and I feel like there's never any need to panic because you know exactly what's going to happen. And if you know what's going to happen, then you know how to deal with it. So I would like make it a habit of like develop a habit of looking at mechanics as much as you can, learning what they're doing, and just kind of like being ready to deal with the situation that gets thrown at you. And I mean, these situations aren't getting thrown at you, they're happening as you know they will happen. So that's why I really do firmly believe that PvE, there's never need to panic. And I mean, I say that and I also panic sometimes, like it's unexpected things happen, but there's definitely like ways to pre-plan things, right? Like here, you know what these guys do. They just hit and they don't do anything special. So I know I'm probably not gonna have to do a lot of healing. This monk genuinely felt immortal, so the only thing I need to do here is just deal some damage, help out with DPS. Here, Bazaar Strongman, we know what this guy does. He fixates, and he's gonna hit the fixated person. And here I was actually testing something out, because we were really good on time on this key. So I wanted to fool around a little bit, so I wanted to see if I can use mind control to attack here. And you can do this, but it's... then I took the wrong game to the classic. Oh god, this is embarrassing watching back. But yeah, I fear them to kind of like to make sure I live here. That was really goofy. Don't do that. That was just me testing something. I wanted to see if I can get some value out of mind control on some mobs and stuff. So I was kind of like playing with that a little bit. It's definitely not really good here, at least from what I've seen. Maybe there is some way to make it useful, but I don't really know. I think it's just easier to kill this guy, especially on a Tyrannical week, maybe on Fortified. But as far as I know, even if you CC these guys, they do still come, I think, into the room. And I also know that if they're up, there's a way to bug this RP, and you don't want that. Yeah, so that's a bit rough. Here, make sure you get these buffs. I mean, I've heard way too many players say, oh, I don't bother getting this. It's like, what do you mean, dude? Like, you literally get damage and haste. Like, for us, that is great. These are two stats that really, like, benefit us a lot. And you should definitely be getting this, obviously. I think everybody should, but I mean... you're just trolling if you don't. I'm just gonna say it. Like, you're just... It's a boss mechanic, so just do it. As far as like which one we want goes, I really don't know why they put healers always on drums. I don't really feel like that has ever given me any sort of like advantage. If nothing else, it kind of annoys me that I can't cast certain spells because of it. But maybe it's better that it's us than somebody else. I don't really know. There's probably a reason for it. If somebody knows the reason, tell me, because I actually would like to know why healers are put on drums. Is that just like in general meant to kind of help us heal, or is it annoying so they just put us there, or like I genuinely don't know. I just kind of accepted it because they always put healers on drums. I don't mind. Like, it's easy. Drums are res. I'm just kind of like wondering why, because it doesn't really. I don't know, like. When the actual boss comes, he does have that like suck-in ability, like when he swirls everybody in. That can be annoying, and then you can, I guess, sit on the drums. But then again, like, wouldn't it make more sense to just put like a ranged DPS there so he can blast while you're being sucked in, right? Because I mean, healing usually is not an issue on this boss. I've never actually had any sort of struggles healing on this boss. Once again, maybe I'm just missing something. If somebody knows why, let me know. I don't know. I'm never afraid to admit things that I don't know, and I will always say this. I think if somebody claims they know everything, they're probably a dumbass, and they probably don't know. Like, they might know a lot, but nobody knows everything, and I think like knowing that you don't know everything allows you to be smarter and to grow as a person. And it's just in general, I feel like a healthy mindset to have, but whatever.
Suppression spark.
Yeah, this is the ability that I was thinking. So like now you could sit on drums while he's doing this and keep healing, but that's exactly why my logic is like, why not put Warlock, for example, there and just let the man blast? You know what I'm saying? Like, would get way more value. And here I completely forgot to retake debuff, so yeah, don't be me. Like you can see now, I lose the buff. I lose the buff. Now I have way less haste and way less damage, and I'm literally trolling my group right now. So don't be me, don't do that. Yeah, just something to be aware of. I think I was completely zoned in on healing, and I just kind of like, you know. And this was super unlucky, but it actually doesn't kill you. That's surprising. Like I was actually surprised I didn't die there, because it is Tyrannical weak, and this is what I mean. Like this boss just feels like a giant target dummy. I'm gonna be honest. This boss to me just feels like a giant target dummy. It doesn't really feel like it does anything. He has that crowd control, which is literally a frontal, like literally just do not stand in front of his blue shield. It is that simple. It's crazy.
Let us not keep Solia waiting. Apologies, Almiser. We desperately need your signature.
Cartel Soul's underhanded dealings have not escaped my attention. You may have my signature, as long as you never again bring destruction to my oasis.
Here we skip past this guy, and then Commander Zufar. This guy is once again, I mean, on Tyrannical this guy shouldn't be an issue, but he can be a problem on Fortified. It's just an annoying mob. There's some ways to deal with it. I personally think the best is to send like 2 players on the other side, so this doesn't happen. I always think to myself, I'll have enough time to react, and then I never do. But the reason like why I don't like to be the one hiding is it's because like I mean, as you can see here, it's great, but I can't always heal the boss. Sorry, heal the tank, because tank usually positions in a way where, see, like I can't press. I'm trying to press on him now and stuff, but it doesn't work. So yeah, maybe like if you trust your tank, I guess just let him handle this by himself, and you just stand here in DPS, and in general it should work out. I'm not really sure exactly how it works, if it can link anyone, but with 2 people standing behind and 3 people standing at the boss,
Excuse our intrusion,
I don't think I've ever seen it link 2 players that are on the same side, so maybe there's like a distance factor to the abilities choosing or something. I'm actually not quite sure. Once again, if somebody knows, let me know. But I think a good plan is to send the ranged on one side and the melee on the other side, and try to keep it balanced. Try to make it 2-3, and that way you don't get linked. Honestly, getting linked is not the worst thing either in the world. Like it's completely fine. Like it's healable, even on Fortified. You just would rather, I guess, not have it happen. And by the way, the DH died not because of link, but because I think he fell rushed into a mine. And mines do 1-shot, even on Tyrannical, on this high level of a key. I mean, I say 22 is a high key. Once again, it's relative, guys. Like I don't want to have to say this every video. Like for somebody a 15 is high, for somebody a 10 is high, for somebody 30 is high, for somebody 22 is a low key. So like, you know, I just don't want somebody to, like, you know, feel weird about me saying this is a low key, and I also don't want somebody to like be like, haha, you think 22 is is a high key, lol, what a noob. It's relative. Not everybody like has same capabilities and same like amount of time to play, nor the same like willingness to improve. Realistically, you do not need to go above 20 this season for anything. It's just for literally fun and prestige. So if you got your 3k Raya, there's literally not a single reason for you to be doing M+ anymore, and it's unfortunate, but that's just the way Blizzard decided to make the game, and it's not necessarily bad. I just wish there was like more reason to push high keys, and that there was at least like some reward, if nothing else, like a transmog or something. It doesn't even have to be an exclusive one, but you know how PvP has like honor system, like why wouldn't they be given some sort of like a valor system or something that provides us with like you have honor level, right? It counts your honorable kills, so why not have something similar for keys? Like you have timed this many keys, you have died this many times in dungeons, you have, you know, just like it would just be like a nice way to incentivize players to do this. But yeah, here I actually took a debuff, even though I mean I did the mini game correctly, but I was just a little bit late, and I mean I fucked up. And these guys, I don't really know what they did and how they ended up there. I must have missed an opportunity to do the same they did, because I didn't really see what they did at all. So I kind of trolled a little bit here. I don't remember if we wipe here. I think they will just combat res me, and we'll finish the boss here. But yeah, it's you gotta be careful in this game. You gotta use your brain, and I know that is a terrifying thought, but it simply has to happen. And here I'm waiting obviously for circle to end, so I can like take, yeah, see, because I'm there, so I don't want to like take it and then eat to the circle. The circle is healable, even on Tyrannical. It's just really rough. You need like a big cooldown or something. It's a lot of damage. It is a lot of damage. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about the video. Sorry, I feel like I kind of randomly rambled a lot in this key, but you know, sorry about it. If you have any questions, if you have anything to say, comment, criticize, like. I appreciate all the feedback. You know, make sure to like the video, click the subscribe button. If you're feeling extra spicy, leave a comment, and have a great day, guys. Bye bye.